Well, hello there and welcome back to the channel and to me COVID-19 update. I've done a few of these in the past, so I thought I'd do another one now, and I thought I'd start with good news. And the good news is Aldi, they've actually decided to start selling products online. When I wrote my book, I actually criticised them and made a comment that a lot of products is missing from the brand and brand section of what I do, mainly because they didn't have a website where you could purchase products. But as we can see here, the website is now up and running and you can order things. And to give it a quick test, if we put in pasta, then we see is that comes back with some results what you can buy. And looks like quite a nice little selection there. Probably not as big a selection as what we'd normally have, but you know, it's hard times. I've been out and about to a few supermarkets looking for flour and it is nowhere. We type in flour, almost like flour's now the new toilet roll. Once you're going to be typing flour, we can get the plain flour and self-raising flour. And in fairness, when I've been to Aldi, they do not generally serve or sell bread flour. So a little bit of exciting news is that we can now shop online at Aldi. I'm not sure when the delivery time is. It's launched today, so hopefully you can get deliveries quite quickly. But worth giving it a go. What I wanted to do is go back to the figures as I put it. There's lots and lots of figures here, and I will show the graphs in a minute. I've always been concerned about recoveries. It went through 135 to 344. Now these I've highlighted in orange, and one of the reasons why I've highlighted these in orange is if we go to Worldometer and we look at the UK, the recoveries are now shown as an A, which is a bit of a worry. So on this sheet I've just frozen them at 344. There's nothing else that we can do. So if we have a look at the new cases, and we see that the new cases around the 11th of April seem to have spiked. And then from that point, they're kind of staggering, they're up and down, up and down. We need these to come down more than what we've currently got. Obviously, we need to get the main graph curved rather than going up in a straight line. Also, coming back to the new cases, even though we've got that spike there, we've got this drop in. If we look at the number of people tested around here, we can tell is that the tests have kind of balanced around 18,000, then they've dropped on the 13th of April, steadily making their way back up. Yesterday we was back to 18,733. So we are doing more and more testing, but these new cases are dropping, so that's encouraging. But equally, if you look at the deaths and recoveries, we can see that the recoveries are going up staggeredly. So we don't know what these figures are currently. But the deaths kind of shot up, then they dipped down, and then they've gone back up again. Now we're in another dip, and I'm hoping this just dips down again, obviously. I mean, people that die, these are figures where it affects families. You know, people are dying out there. It's a really sad situation to be in, but we need this to go down. I suspect over the next week or so it's going to spike, and that will be our first spike, and then that's when we start to come out of it. It'd be nice to think this is the spike, but realistically, it's probably not. So looking at the graph trends, we can see that this is the line to look for, and it's still going up. We can see that it's trying to curve here, and it's going up, it's trying to curve here slightly, but generally the trend is going up. It does have to curve round so we can come out of this thing. No sign of that at this moment in time. However, looking now, is that we've got 13,729 deaths from COVID-19 people in hospital, and the predicted deaths from the government was 20,000. So we are very, very quickly going towards that 20,000 level. I've always said that it's low figures, which it is for deaths, because if we compare it to the flu, we have overtaken the 2016 deaths of flu, which was 11,875. But we're fastly approaching the 2017 flu deaths, which was at 18,009. But we've got recorded deaths, which is people that's died in hospital, tested for COVID-19 positive, that they're at 13,729. However, the question is this a true value? So what we need to do is have a look at the national statistics, which takes you to this spreadsheet. I'll put a link in the description below. And it's kind of split into number of deaths and number of COVID-19 deaths, which looking at it, there's 539 deaths in total. Now, is this column true or false compared to the total number of deaths? Now, this is something I've had to ponder for a little while. Going back to the COVID-19 Worldometer stats, we could argue that these are falsified, but when you click on the UK, you find that these figures are actually coming from the NHS as part of government. So this is where this information is actually being generated from on Worldometer. So I'd say these are very much reliable. So going back to this, it's easy to look at this and say, well, there's only 539 deaths. There's nothing to worry about. This includes, it's mentioned on the death certificate that they died of COVID-19, but they didn't die in hospital with the disease. So they're not in the Worldometer statistics. However, the telltale sign seems to be hospitals, where it shows 501 deaths by the 7th of April 2020. Going back to my chart, and if we go back to the 7th of April, we have 6,159 deaths, but that was on the 7th of April. This report was produced on that day. So if you look at the previous day, it's got 5,373 deaths, which is just shy of the 5,105 deaths shown here. Now, depending on what time of day it would be, then this looks more of a true figure regarding the hospital deaths, which is relating to COVID-19. So I would say this is the number of deaths, which is either a diagnosis via a test in an hospital, COVID-19, or it's mentioned on the death certificate, you'd be died at home, in a hospice, care home, wherever. And that makes it a little bit more frightening, but a little bit more realistic. So if we go back to predictions, we actually pop in 6,036 total, which is basically 11,141 minus the 5,105 deaths around the 7th of April. It gives us a total of 6,036 deaths, which is, a lot considering it's not reported on. However, if we add that to the COVID-19 hospital deaths, it gives us 19,765, which is extremely close to the 20,000 predicted figure of deaths throughout the entire epidemic from the government. And also, that figure would then overtake the 2017 deaths from flu, which means obviously it's extremely worrying at this point. But we haven't got a vaccine, we haven't got treatment for it, so in a way it's not surprising. What's not encouraging is that when we look at the positive results, there seem to be around 30% of the people what's been tested. So what does this mean for this graph? Well, previously the government wanted to do herd immunity, and the idea is that 60% of the population would get the disease, 1% would die. Within 10 days of that, they actually stopped the herd immunity, which if you work it out, it's probably 43% of us which got an infection. And the minimum death rate for this is 1%, which is, if you actually look at that, that'll give you 292,400 potential deaths for COVID-19. However, it seems is that around 30% is infected, and that would actually have a 1% death rate of 204,000, which the government predicted 10% of that. But we'll have to see what happens. Obviously, I think it's going to be between these two figures here of what the total death rate is. Well, 19,765, if I'm interpreting this correctly, which it kind of looks like it is, even though it's not written. I've interpreted it. It kind of reads as that this is the COVID-19 column, and this is total deaths. But that value there relates far more to the hospital totals, the official worldometer totals. And equally, deaths involving COVID-19 is not included on the weekly death register figure due to the pandemic. Have a look at the links in the description, open it up yourself, have a read. If I've misinterpreted it, let me know in the comments so I can change the video or make an amended version next time. But to me that reads that 11,141 people has got COVID-19 on the death certificate. So the last thing I want to do is create a conspiracy theory over these totals. But at the end of the day, the government should make them a little bit more clearer than what they have done in this document. There are various tabs at the bottom you can see there. So like I say, click on the link, have a look yourself, see what you think. However, what we do know is that there's 103,000 confirmed cases. There's 13,729 official deaths in hospital. And we also been told today is that in the UK we will be staying in for at least another 3 weeks. This takes the infection level, which I worked out at one point was around 2.3 to 0.7. Now the flu infection level's 1.3, which means a lot of people can't get it. If we all went out tomorrow and just resumed life as normal, it would jump to 2.3, even possibly 3, and that would result in a far more, people dying, and it's the last thing that anybody wants. So, stay in, let's all be good. It's another 3 weeks at least, but we're carrying on with life. Shopping's not too bad now. You go into the supermarkets, you do see gaps in shelves, but you can get pasta, you can get toilet roll. You can't get flour. And probably order flour, howdy, see if it comes. But you can't really get flour in supermarkets, but everything else does seem to be there. And there's far less empty shelves than what there was a few weeks ago. So I'm hoping that this has been informative. Thank you for watching. And, I did actually drive through the local town of Lee on bank holiday. And I'll put that video up. And, basically it's just a ghost town. I actually went shopping and I didn't realise all the supermarkets was closed at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's just a quick video of driving round. It's interesting. I'll load that up in a day or two. But there we go. So take care, stay in, look after each other. Condolences to people that's lost family members due to COVID-19. Hopefully we'll see the end of this very, very soon. Don't in fear anymore. We'll just get on with that. Once again, compared to the flu, it's more or less breaking even now. The fear factor is, when does normal life resume? When does this stop? How many lives does it take? And nobody knows that. Looking back on this video in a year's time, that's when we'll have the answers. But we haven't got the answers at the moment. So it's late, it's time to go. Thank you for watching. Hopefully the next video will have much better news. See you soon.